I guess just going to be the last segment, because it takes time to process the video and get it up for you guys, and I have to get somewhere and get out of here in about 45 minutes. But I figured one thing about time, everything takes time. Do you think when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon, he said to himself, I don't know if I have enough time to do this. This takes time. I don't like this. It's taking time. Well, his buddy in the capsule said, hurry up. I'm getting tired of sitting here. So everything takes time. So we're putting time into music here. We're putting time into this particular problem. By the way, I put an awful lot of time into the cutouts. The cutouts where we would have you can see why I had to put time into those cutouts, so I could exploit the open strings. It took time. It was something that bothered me, so I put time into it to figure out what was going on there and what was a way that I could apply the patterns. And we ended up actually, cutouts actually have a, let's look at one of the long boxes here. Okay, so here's our long E root 2/3 box, the Ionian box. If we have a cutout of 3, right there's a half position right there, half string shape, half position, same thing, because 3, 4, 5 is the bottom 3 strings of the C box. Now let's roll over to the C box. Of course they're interlocked, but you can pan them out in 4ths or 5ths, entire big boxes here. This is the missing fret. Okay, the missing fret, by the way, is, oh look, I messed that up. I don't know how this little this string shape got here. That must have been left over from the chart. Okay, yeah, that's what I call a pasting error. All of a sudden, and I won't notice it until months later or whatever. But if I do distribute these charts, certainly they are on the Facebook page. I just have to track down where the error started, and then I adjust the charts. I will do that. Sometimes I'll even make a note of it. I just don't know exactly what chart I got this particular fretboard from. Anyway, I kind of fixed it here. We were talking about looking at the C box, and guess what? What we were talking about was, okay, we were talking about the base of the C box. Now this is the short C box. By the way, the short C box and the long C box are the same. So let's just go over to an undamaged C box here. Right here, a Tri-Pentatonic C box. Right here. Okay. So we'll get that green color going. I think we already had it there. Here's our C box. Now we have longer than that in the other cages, but C's a magical cage, so is E, in that it can all happen because of the tuning warp, the tuning third here between the B and G and the B string. It brings over the pattern. When the pattern wants to go to the right, it brings those 2 strings over, so we've got similarly with the E. Okay, but in the A pattern, well, we have to go to the long pattern there. Right there. You don't get that note if you're doing an A shape say you're doing an A-shaped F on the fret nut, you can't get that. You have to go right to the long pattern. Or if you start on the second string, so what are we saying here? All I'm saying simply is that the C string shape is 3, 4, and 5. The string shapes themselves, as defined in this box here, the string shapes themselves are the bottom strings of the cages. The short cages are the bottom strings of the caged cages, C-A-G-E-D cages, and these are additionally the bottom strings of the modal cages, where we get the Mixolydian, we get the Ionian, and we get the Lydian cage having its own cage. Okay, so here's the Lydian cage. Right there, 4, 5, 6. We have the Mixolydian cage, 5, 6, 7, and then we have the Ionian cage, root 2, 3. So let's get back to the lesson here. We've talked a little bit about how to voice that fifth there, and what is it? It's half. It's the C part of the tri-pentatonic, and we just have to put a chord together like that, just like in the Locrian cage. And let's make this easy. Now let's get the long pattern Locrian cage here, right here. This should be a gray blue E right here. That should be a gray blue E, just like this one. So what we have here with the Locrian is 7, 2, 4, 7, 2, 4, 7. You know, you can add the sixth, like we talked about, because you wouldn't have anything to play on that string. If you were doing a nice little Locrian box here, now we need to move along so I don't lose track of what we were talking about. You want to do a nice little Locrian box. 7, 7, 2, 4, 7, 2, 4. You can always get 7, 2. You can always get that arpeggio from 7. Let's go 7, 2, 4, 7, 2, 4. Okay, and then where? Now, to get the 7 there, we don't have a 7 on that next string up here. Let's see, 7, 2, 4, 7, 2, 4. Now we do have a 7 up here. Okay, so that's your longer, sorry, I didn't see that. I was trying to do the small box. That's our small box, okay? And then our long modal box would play away. We'll go up to the next cage position. The next cage position from E is what? D. We'd have 2, 3, 4, although we don't show that, but that's where it goes. So sometimes the rules with cage will go out of the box. Or perhaps I should have extended that a little bit if we wanted to show the really long cages. There's no worries there, because we've got that 4 right here in the box. Okay, so we did cover that. I did deal with that problem before, so that's why I extended the box down one. We went for this 4 instead of this 4, because we need this 4 for the Lydian box. Makes sense? Alright, so the point is, we make a chord out of whatever we got here, because the arpeggio 7, 2, 4 travels across the cages.